T-Man 978 Show Review.
Hello everyone, T-Man 978 reviewing this empty box. Psych. Marvel Spider-Man Legend Series Absorbing Man Build-A-Figure Villains of the Night Jack-O-Lantern. Here's his artwork right there. Here's his not artwork right there. Here's this stuff right here. Pause so you can get a good look at everything you need to get. Here's the artwork right there. Isn't that nice looking? And here's this little bio sentence. And here's something I think I'm going to do from now on moving forward. If you pause this screen and scan this at one of Target's price scanners, they can tell you whether this figure wave is actually in the back. And if you see somebody else doing this after you see this video, tell them stop biting T-Man 978. Or at least acknowledge me. It's like, you can do with that as you want, reviewers. I don't care. I'm probably not the first guy to do it anyway. There are a billion reviewers out there. But anyway, here's Jack-O-Lantern. And if you have a nice little stand like I do right here, or something equivalent with little hands that can grab him because he doesn't have any like stand ports in his back or butt or anything, this is one of the best Marvel Legends figures ever, if you got one of those. If you don't have one of those,
may God have mercy on your pathetic soul.
Because his knees are weak. But let's get into the figure before I start complaining. So let's go into this dude's accessories right away. He comes with the same pumpkin bomb, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see the face on it. But it has a jack-o'-lantern face. Same pumpkin bomb as Hobgoblin Build-A-Figure. You see him riding on this broom right here. It's sort of like a hoverboard thing, like the hovercraft that Green Goblin and Hobgoblin fly around on it, except it's shaped like a broom. The problem with it, it's nicely painted up here, nicely painted there, nicely sculpted. But for some reason, they stopped the paint here, when it's obvious that this is supposed to be like fire detail. Why didn't they bring the broom all the way down here, paint this silver, and maybe paint this silver? I have no idea. Now me, you don't have to plug these into his peg holes on the bottom of his feet, but that works the best for me because trying to make this guy's feet just stand there, I mean, you can do it, but it's just easier to plug them into the bottom of the feet, and that looks better. This just comes right off his hand, and he has one more weapon. You plug it in by wiggling these fingers or squeezing the fingers through the handle and then forcing the handle all the way up. And now he has this sickle. Problem, the hands are nice and dynamic, but it doesn't look like he's holding it. I mean, it's not too big of a deal, but if you're anal, that is weird. Just like the broom. The broomstick had the same problem, but yeah. Now let's start going into this dude's details, the details of his body. Now, if this isn't an original body mold for him and him only, I wouldn't know. This is the first time I've actually encountered this body, and it's very, very thin. Like, more thin than a lot of the female characters, and more thin than Spider-Man himself. The head sculpt and paintwork is really, really freaking amazing. I mean, it actually looks like a real jack-o'-lantern. My background's falling apart. But the paintwork is freaking DC Collectibles quality to me. And I love the transparent fire effect right there. I looked him up on Google yesterday. They pulled me up to a Wikipedia page. I suggest you look him up too if you don't know who he is. This isn't movable. It's actually sculpted. I thought it was movable at first. He has some little pockets right here under his armpits. The detail and straps go all the way around. This belt is movable, but it's stopped by those little pockets. And you see his little pumpkin bombs right there, which is cool. Now here's his legs are tremendously skinny. And you can see this detail and texture right there. I like that. I mean, it's an excellent sculpt. I really, really like it. Now let's get into his problems. He has like mid forearm rotation, which is cool for these dynamic hands and whatnot. I mean, it's not too much of a problem, but not being able to have the wrist bend or the wrist crunch or whatever you call that, that makes him a little bit more boring right there. Everywhere else, though, he does have double jointed elbows. His arms can go up that far, bicep swivel, and he has like a ratchet in his shoulder. The waist crunch is amazing. I love it. He goes back that far. He has a waist. The hips, they're one of those universal ball joint things. I don't like them. I mean, it is fairly easy to get them in the poses, but I don't like the joints where it's attached at the top of the ball. If it was attached right here in the center, that will be one thing, but I don't like it being attached at the top. Of course, he has upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees that bend a lot, and the feet, they're kind of frustrating too. He has ankle pivot. They kick back that far, but kicking them forward feels like you're gonna break them. I mean, even though he has these ring things right there, you can make him kick forward that much. But yeah, the neck is a problem. He can look down, but he can't look up. He can swivel his head, no pivot. I mean, and what's frustrating about it is he has that joint, like the posts with the ball joint on the top. So if you want him to look up desperately, you have to basically pop his head off and cheat. I mean, the head will stay on as long as they're not throwing him around. So you can cheat a little bit, and you're going to have to use that if you definitely need him to look up for whatever pose you're trying to get him in. Here he is with a couple of his wave mates. And as you can expect, Venom is going to be taller. But he's basically the same height as Spider-Man here. In Verdict, I love how detailed he is. And I love his posability. But getting him to stand with these weak legs is going to be difficult. But I have been having fun being able to get him into certain types of poses. Like, his legs are just amazing, and that ab crunch is just awesome. But the neck is a problem, like I said. The wrist not being able to hinge in and out, and not being able to stand up is a major, major problem. Like, don't get me completely wrong. He is capable of standing up, but it's very difficult. But I still love this figure. I like it. He's an obscure character, but he looks good and he is fun to me. If you like this video, give me a like, give me a share, subscribe, comment. T-Man978 out of here.